ChatGPT, that thing that everyone just can't seem to shut up about. With over 180 million users worldwide, everyone from YouTube wannabe entrepreneurs to literal politicians seem to be obsessed with the technology. It has so thoroughly infiltrated modern society that your grandmother probably uses it to find cheat codes for Candy Crush. However, it is also a technology that's very divisive, and there's no place where the war between ChatGPT enthusiasts and naysayers is stronger than at school. For some, it's a tool that completely destroys the point of education, allowing students to have a robot do all their work for them. For others, it's education's version of sliced bread, revolutionizing how students learn by having a teacher that they can carry around in their pocket. Who's right? Do you think ChatGPT should be used in schools?
Obviously, who doesn't?
No, absolutely not. That's cheating.
Well, it's complicated. So join me as I investigate, should ChatGPT and other generative AI chatbots be used in schools? Before even getting into whether ChatGPT should be used in schools, we should first understand how these chatbots even work. Because contrary to popular belief, the prompts you enter into ChatGPT aren't actually answered by some kind of supernatural hamster society. So, how does ChatGPT even answer human prompts? Take it away, Science Dave. Thanks, Stupid Dave. ChatGPT is an LLM, standing for Large Language Model, which is a program that takes an input and then gives an output based off of a huge amount of data that the model is trained on. How much data was ChatGPT trained on? Well, GPT 3.5, which is kind of like the engine behind ChatGPT, was fed billions of human-written web pages from Wikipedia, Reddit, GitHub, news websites, blogs, along with some 500 million digitized books. Altogether, some 300 billion words of data were fed into ChatGPT. And you thought your Shakespeare reading assignment was a lot. Now, this is the most important part, so stop scrolling on Twitter and pay attention. Whenever you ask ChatGPT a question, all it does is then look back at the scanned data and do a bunch of math to predict which words are most probably related to the entered prompt. So, for example, when you ask a question like, what color is milk? ChatGPT will say that milk is white, not because it actually knows the color of milk, but rather just because it saw that milk, color, and white were seen together a lot in the data that it scanned. So the important thing is, ChatGPT doesn't actually know anything. It's just doing a bunch of math to predict the probability of a word coming after another based on the data it scanned. And ChatGPT does this again and again until it forms like a cohesive, understandable output. So keep that in mind anytime you ask ChatGPT anything, especially if it's important. Back to you, Stupid Dave. Oh, he is such a nerd. Anyway, when ChatGPT first came out in November 2022, educators were absolutely freaking out about it. Entire school districts like Los Angeles and New York City even banned the use of ChatGPT in schools. But why? Why are they being so mean to Mr. ChatGPT? The most obvious reason is cheating. Cheating in school assignments and tests isn't anything new. Whether it was copying answers from that smart classmate who thinks he's better than everyone else, to more recently just paying someone on the internet to write essays for you. The thing is, ChatGPT has made that entire process of cheating so much easier because of how simple to use and accessible it is. In just 10 minutes with a few well-written prompts, you can generate an essay that would have otherwise taken 3 to 4 hours of research, planning, and writing. If you're a tired student at 2 a.m. and on their 6th cup of coffee trying to finish up an English essay, it's pretty clear to see why a technology like ChatGPT might be so appealing to you. It's just so convenient. So yeah, cheating using ChatGPT has become a lot more common in schools. According to a survey of 200 K-12 teachers across the US, 26% of them have caught a student cheating using ChatGPT, with the actual number of cheaters probably being even higher. But why is it bad for students to turn in work made using ChatGPT? If an AI bot can do our work for us in less time and sometimes do it better than us, that's a good thing, right? Well, the problem is, a lot of students tend to forget that in most education systems, the assignment isn't necessarily about the final product itself. Rather, it's about the process you go through and the skills you hone while working on the assignment that's a lot more important. If that whole learning process is just thrown to an AI, well, then you as a person don't actually gain anything from that assignment.
You know, when I assign, let's say, an essay on Macbeth and I want to know about the themes, it isn't just because, you know, I've never seen this before. I've seen this in hundreds of different ways. Someone has articulated that. But the point of a student writing an essay is to build on their analytical skills, as well as to build on the critical thinking skills. And if someone is doing that for them, then they're actually not working on those skills, right? So it isn't about Macbeth or the themes per se. It's about the skill.
So yeah, using ChatGPT to finish all your assignments early might let you play 4 extra hours of Fortnite, but it's not exactly the best idea for your future. Because sure, you might get a good grade for your assignment, but you don't actually improve any of your writing, critical thinking, or any of your research skills, which kind of defeats the point of school in the first place. Another reason why people are so anti-ChatGPT is that it has a tendency to just make up things and spew out false information. This is completely fine if you're, just using the bot to make funny stories about Michael Jackson marrying a washing machine, but if students are trying to find actual information for school assignments, chatbots outputting made-up stuff is officially called AI hallucinations, and according to a recent study, about 7% of all of ChatGPT's answers include some form of hallucinations. This may not sound like a lot, but considering the sheer amount of requests that ChatGPT gets, all that misinformation adds up. These hallucinations are the result of what Science Dave was talking about earlier, as again, the bot doesn't actually understand any of the facts that it's saying. It's just trying to predict the most reasonable sounding answers. It's really not a search engine like Google. It's just a text generator. That's why chatbots like ChatGPT or Google's Bard are so confidently incorrect, whether it's citing fake cases for lawyers or even getting basic history wrong. So sure, ChatGPT is pretty good at answering questions and giving information about general, well-known topics, but it can completely make up information for more specific questions about lesser-known topics that might be needed for school. So in that case, if chatbots like ChatGPT are sometimes inaccurate and defeats the point of learning, then they should be banned, right? Well, the problem is, banning students from using ChatGPT in schools is kind of like placing a bunch of cookies in front of a hungry toddler and telling them not to eat it. Technology is so accessible and intuitive that students are going to use it no matter what. The rule breakers will continue to break the rules, while the rule followers are placed at a systemic academic disadvantage. So realistically, schools have to address the problem in some way, whether it's modifying assignments so that students physically can't use the program, or possibly even integrating the bot into the education system itself. Now, you might be wondering, how can we do that? Well, chatbots like ChatGPT could be modified to build personalized learning assistants that help students in their learning way more than conventional education systems. This would be a pretty big deal. Back in 1984, famous education nerd Benjamin Bloom published a study showing that students who got constant evaluation and feedback from one-on-one tutors on average got 2 whole grades, an A compared to a C, more than students who had normal conventional classes. Back then, the notion of giving every single student their own teacher was pretty far-fetched because, good teachers can't unfortunately duplicate on command. However, with the help of generative chatbots, this might be a lot more possible, as theoretically they could be used to build personalized learning assistants for every single student. Chatbot learning assistants have the advantage of being super duper accessible, meaning that if they're trained correctly, they can be used by students to answer any doubts or questions they had about a topic that they're learning anywhere and anytime. Of course, students should be asking these questions to qualified teachers, but teachers are human too. They won't be available 24/7 every single day. Also, trust me, it can be very scary to go up to another human and ask them to explain an entire concept again, or ask them like 20 different questions you had about a topic. It's just not something that a lot of students feel comfortable doing every single week or every single lesson. An accessible but accurate chatbot won't have that same friction because, it's a chatbot. And in theory, if built correctly, could help students gain a further understanding about a topic after learning about it in class. These chatbots could also help students more easily traverse the most difficult part of the assignment, just sitting your lazy butt down and starting the darn thing. Starting a big assignment can be extremely daunting, which is why so many students end up procrastinating it and later have to hastily finish it 2 hours before it's due. By using the chatbot as a brainstorming device, it can help students come up with a huge variety of different ideas and structures that they can do an assignment, which will help break that initial paralysis that comes with starting the assignment. Like, even with ChatGPT, many teachers believe that it can be a starting point for a project that students can then flesh out completely on their own.
So I think it's a fantastic way to generate ideas. I think when you are just starting with a project, it's a great way to just kind of like, okay, what's some basic stuff out there? And to get kind of a general outline of where to go. Like, it saves a lot of time.
Finally, it could be a tool that helps disadvantaged students catch up to the rest of their peers by, helping them learn in a way that's suited to them. Like, okay, for example, chatbots could be used by non-fluent English speakers to simplify hard-to-read text, thereby allowing them to understand topics and concepts way easier. Like, look, as a fluent English speaker, science textbooks are already freaking difficult to read, man. I cannot imagine how hard it is for non-fluent English speakers to do the same. Anyway, more and more specialized chatbots are already being built for students to extend their learning. Even Harvard freaking University is getting into it, with its popular Computer Science 50 course now having a chatbot that'll answer students' questions, help find bugs in their code, and more. Man, if only a chatbot could write my Harvard application for me. The coolest educational chatbot available right now is definitely Conmigo, made by everyone's favorite parasocial father figure, Sal Khan. Now note, I have not been paid by Khan Academy in any way to talk about this, although I'm just saying, Sal, my DMs are open and I take both cash and card. Anyway, as a student, this stuff makes me super excited, like genuinely. Conmigo is an AI chatbot built into the Khan Academy website that's a lot more suitable as an AI tutor than ChatGPT. Firstly, it's a lot more factually accurate compared to ChatGPT, as Khan Academy did a bunch of training and prompt engineering on GPT-4, kind of like the engine that ChatGPT is built on, to specifically improve its math processing and fine-tune it for tutoring specifically. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But it's pretty darn good, and it's probably also going to get better with time, as it's easier to train and improve a specialized chatbot like Conmigo compared to a chatbot like ChatGPT, which is used for literally everything. Along with this, one crucial aspect of Conmigo is that it never actually gives students spoon-fed answers directly. Instead, the bot will guide the user through each step of the learning process, whether it's helping students brainstorm ideas for an essay or giving them helpful hints to solve a hard math problem. It'll never actually just write the essay for the student or solve the math problem entirely, meaning that students are actually forced to learn and improve their skills in a topic, something that doesn't really happen when students just use ChatGPT. Conmigo also has a bunch of really cool other features as well, whether it's simulating conversations with famous historical figures to practicing your debating skills and a lot more. It really shows us the potential that these AI chatbots really have. All of this doesn't mean that human teachers are going to be useless. Of course not. We've seen time and time again that students need a little bit of that real human connection and empathy to actually learn effectively. However, that still means that Conmigo could be used to extend and build on that learning at home as well. Okay, so what's the final verdict? How much should ChatGPT and other generative AI actually be used in schools? Well, again, it's still complicated. What, you expected a video essay from a 15-year-old to explain every single nuance and argument about ChatGPT use in education? Stupid. Currently, relying solely on ChatGPT for school can be really dangerous, because not only is it sometimes very inaccurate, but it also kind of takes away from a lot of the writing, management, and critical thinking skills that, schools are supposed to teach students for their later life. However, banning ChatGPT at school completely is pretty unrealistic and kind of impractical. Because again, students can very easily just go home and use it there. Along with this, other LLMs like Conmigo show us how this technology could be used as a force for good, helping students learn in ways never physically thought possible before. So really, generative AI has way too much potential for it to be completely ignored, but that still means we need to address its negative impacts. Its use really is about balance. It shouldn't be a crutch that students cannot live without, but rather it should be a form of rocket boosters that help learning be more effective, more interactive, and just more fun. It shouldn't replace learning, it should only assist it. no matter how well it can explain photosynthesis in a pirate accent. That's been the video. Thanks for watching.